what you believe in or what you think or just ideas that go around your day of this is what I believe, this is why I believe it, and this is the right way, and I think I'm doing great. In my life, I've done all of that. I've I've been considered a believer, and then I've turned into a non-believer and a believer again. I just go all over the place because I don't really know what to do with my life, and yeah, I'm just making this video to see what I went through. So I always question myself, am I right or am I wrong or what will happen in life? And yeah, and during my life, I'm like trying out new things. I try different places, different cultures, even different religions. I like all of it. And yeah, I've been a part of it, and then sometimes I feel like I put my life on it, and then other times I've ended up changing my mind and doing something else new. But so during my life, I was not born into any religion. I was born to no religion at all. So I never really got raised any religion specifically. I've gone to a couple vacation Bible schools which talked about church, and I was like, this is kind of cool learning about the religion of Christianity. And then yeah, but nothing too serious or anything like that. It's just one of those things where it was nice to meditate and learn and then go on with my day. So that was pretty much during elementary school. During middle school, I started hearing people talk about religion a little bit more, and I was not having a good life during middle school. I was just battling my life, and sometimes I feel like, is there a God out there, or is there someone who can help? But that was pretty much it. And then in high school, I joined Catholic. Well, I was technically Catholic, but I wasn't able to receive communion. And it was a weird phase because it was one year I went to church every single Sunday, went to all the masses and everything like that. And then after that, I I heard about there's a bunch of things you have to do, like to get your confirmation, and then I felt like I was behind, just comparing and contrasting with other people that there's a lot you have to do, and I wasn't good enough and all that stuff. So I pretty much left the religion. The main reason was it got repetitive, and yeah, I'm not into doing the same thing over and over. So sometimes after a year of doing the same thing, I ended up just leaving, quietly leaving it. And that was before COVID happened. And when COVID happened, then I completely left it at that time because it couldn't do anything during COVID. And I was not religious for a couple of years between that. I was completely on my own, and then I ended up having to move out on my own. I was Family ended up selling the house, so I had to find a place on my own. I didn't know where. Nothing was affordable in this economy, but I found a place I mean, it was enough to get me by for a little bit. So I found that, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any friends or didn't know anyone in the city, so I had an idea to make friends in the church. It sounded like, I'm interested in learning about religion and everything like that too, and I had great experiences before. So yeah, why not? Why not ended up joining church to see what it's like, and I guess getting to know people in my new hometown too. That's my favorite. One of my favorite things is doing is meeting people in different places and becoming friends with them. And yeah, I joined the church, and yeah, I guess my beliefs changed a lot, but during that time of my life, my beliefs have completely changed. I was 100% Christian at that time. I believed everything that the Bible said, everything that people say about Christian and the way, the truth of life, all that stuff. I believed every single bit of it for pretty much 2 years straight. Believed everything and did what I'm told, and to continue what I'm doing, and then doing everything for the one creator. And it felt good for a little bit. I felt like I was doing something. I really did. And then I've had great interaction. I've made a lot of friends and met great people throughout Christians. But I guess it was that was the positive side of it, and I have nothing negative about that part. I call it, even though my religion views may change, I still call them blessings because I felt great interacting with all that. But I guess there's some things that I kind of disagreed with, and viewpoints, and maybe others times I've agreed with, but it felt weird, like, because I was so into the religion, very locked in for a while. But I think the hard part is me questioning, is this the right way? Well, even though I was doing everything, everyone would say, yes, it is the right way. You this is how you this is what becoming a Christian is. In, Wake Christian means that we all deserve to go hell. We all deserve to catch on fire, and because we all sinned, whether that's a white lie to a murder, any sin between, that's considered, you deserve the death and punishment. But Jesus came from the dead and took all the punishment for us, so we don't have to deal with that punishment anymore. And the only thing we have to do is give our lives to him. So I did my confession. I confessed a year and a half ago of my faith, and gave my heart, be born again, gave my soul to him, a new person, all of that stuff that they tell you. So I felt like I was good. And I've always questioned, because I'm an overthinker. Did I actually give my life? And I've probably done it 2 or 3 times. The other times were with witnesses, so I can be confident to say yes, I gave my life. But it was hard, because never felt like it was clear, and especially an overthinker like me, I've always had to say, well, am I doing this right? So I've done it all right. After that, I've read the Bible every day, spent time with the Lord, talked to him, all those things that I believed were happen. And after that, was not expecting it. I did love it, but the hard part was that all I saw was nothing. And I'm not saying anything against it, what I was doing. I still felt like it's better than doom scrolling on the phone, but it's also like, am I talking to like an invisible ghost, or what is going on? Because like it seems like everything that I do is like 50-50. Like, does it will it happen or will it not? And just like results in all life, it's like everything's the same. And then I just notice this repetitiveness, kind of same process as the Catholic Church, that I'm doing the same exact thing over and over and over. Like half the times when I hear like the message or the conversation, at like the first two sentences, I already know what's gonna end and what the conversation is gonna be about. It's like I'm almost I was at a point where I pretty much can predict everything that's going to happen and predict. It's like what am I doing? What am I questioning exactly? And that's been the daily struggle too, because as an overthinker, I always think, will I drift away from God? Will I not be a part of Him? Heart will my heart turn back to hardness and not flesh? Will I will I be going back in the wrong direction and all these things? And that's what Christians will tell you too, is that if you it's confusing because half of the verses in the Bible say if you turn away from God, then you then you just like left the religion and will deserve the punishments because you turned away from him. But the other half says, well, if you feel this way that you're feeling right now, then you never really loved him in the first place and you were never an actual Christian in the first place. And all that stuff was that you just did, you didn't actually feel like that. So it's hard for me because I thought I was doing everything right, but I feel like the moment I questioned, I get wronged, and yeah, it's like where am I going with this? And I always struggle about, I feel safe, but then also I feel like, well, I guess I also feel less confident in myself because we're told every day we're not worthy. We're not good people. We are bad people. And what we do, we deserve everything bad that happens to us. And been told that my way is not good. I should not control my life. I should have an invisible creator control my life for me. It means to do this way. And what I've been told is now I have my life saved and everything's good for me now. Now I have to tell it to other people. And that's the hardest part, is to spread the religion. And I know this was taught in like the Bible verses about spreading religion to others, but how do I do that? Like, because for me, I guess I didn't I didn't had confidence into telling people who I loved, my family and my friends, that you may not make it to heaven because you are not following the religion stuff. You're sinning every day and don't feel bad about it, and because of that you're going to face eternal death. Like, said this to people, like if I say this to close friends and close family, like family who are not Christian, or friends who are atheist, or who don't who don't or who are like LGBTQ, trans, all the stuff that they tell you not to do. Like how do I tell that to them who they love me and I love them? And I don't know. Like I feel like, they've done a lot of good things. I don't get why they have to get put down in a pit of fire just because they disagree. That sometimes doesn't make sense at all. And that I've also been told, if I don't tell others, if I don't spread the word or anything like that, then do I actually love God? Do I actually love him I don't if I don't spread the word? Because if I don't, that means I'm not working hard enough. I'm not doing the work. That means I don't care and all this stuff too. So it's just me overthinking about everything. It's just hurting my head, and it's like I at the end of the day, I want my loved ones to feel like they're in a good place in life, just as general. So it's like, how do I tell them that they're not? But it's just confusing, it doesn't make sense that if a creator was so good and so perfect and everything going on, then how is it that we see all of this bad stuff going on in the world? How? How does also that if he loves us so much, then why would he send every single person, in like the worst pain ever? Like imagine if I was a creator, and then if someone who disagrees with my viewpoint in life, like, hey, I love you, but I don't agree with this thing. Why would I say, okay, you're going down? Like, I don't get that. I don't, like, that's not love. That's like saying, you have to agree with me or you get the worst pain ever. That doesn't make sense. And yeah, it's been a while that I've believed that too, which was why I was also overthinking about, like, I just want everyone to be saved. And yeah. So at this point, it feels like I've been in a mind control because all I know is that I'm supposed to know everything what it says, all stories and everything like that, and then to a point is just to be like, do it all over again, be in the same process, do the same thing ever, over and over and over, and constantly being reminded not to trust myself. And then it's just, I guess it took away my confidence in other things too. Like, I felt like I had to stay in one spot my whole life. And I don't know, it's like, I don't, like, how am I supposed to commit to one thing when there's a bunch of other things I want to do? And, but, yeah, I don't know. It's just all confusing. Like, I've watched during my Christian days, I've watched a lot of like George Carlin videos on like his view of religion, and then it's just it's just me looking like that's actually an interesting point. Like it seems like I should be open minded more, but it doesn't seem like it's that way. And yeah, it's being control. I felt like if I wasn't being with God at all times, then I'm doing something wrong, and the devil's going to catch me and take me away, and I have to do all this and able to be safe. It's like it's totally. And I know people are gonna say in the religion like, oh, if you just gave your life again, if you just gave your life, then none of that would happen. But then also, it's like nothing's clear. Nothing's clear about that. Like, the thing is, how am I supposed to know if I believe that? Because when we were kids, believed that the tooth fairy was real and that Santa was real and all these other fairy tale things were real. So if I can't see it or if I can't hear it and I'm supposed to rely on a book that has all the answers, it's like what do I know? Like is that's everything? And that's the thing is that it's okay not to know. And I'll admit it right now. If people say, "Oh, well, why did you leave Christianity?" I'll say, "I don't know." And that's honest. I don't know. If people ask, "Where do you go when you die?" I'll say, "I don't know." I think, in my view, I think when you die, you're just pull the plug, you turn your ashes, and that's it. I feel like it's just like you close your eyes and you're done. I don't think you go to any place after. Part of me thinks you get reincarnated, but if not, then you're just turning ashes. That's what I think. And if others say what you think you go after, that's totally your opinion. I have nothing against you. I'm just saying that's what I think is that I think when I die, I'll that just lights off and end of movie, whatever you want to call it, just nothing after. And yeah, it's okay not to know, but it's just crazy that people talk about that. Oh, everything in this book that you don't see in real time, you don't, everything's, whatever happens is like 50-50. Like there's no other thing about like good luck with like knocking on wood or like the bunny's tail or whatever like conspiracy theorists that's out there. That's all. That's all the. That's all the same to me. But it's just like it felt weird because one of like the first conversations I had about when someone asked me, "Well, where will I go when I die?" I just say, "Well, I think if you're a good person, you go to heaven." And they immediately said, "No, that is not wrong. We all going to hell because of all the sins that we did, whether that's a white lie to murder again, like everything. But you just have to give your life and be born again, and that's it." So I don't know. I know for sure I did all of that, even though I left Christianity. I'm still saying like, well, I feel like if I did all of that and I've had witnesses, I should be okay, right? But yeah, again, it's okay not to know because I don't know and I'm just did what I've been told, but I I get in this like repetitive mode and confusion about what is going on. And that's the thing is that they think Christ thing about Christianity is I think this religion is the only way. And I've been to countries where they've done Buddhism religion. And I went in the same mindset, like, let's try out this religion. And this religion is just, just pay your respect, do these things to respect the gods in the temples and do the prayers and everything like that with like the water and stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is not, this, that's cool. Like, I'm always open to trying new things out, and then just saying that there's all of these gods around the world, all of these religions, and those are all fake. Their way is not the right way. Theirs is incorrect. Any religion out there, whether that's Hindu, Buddhism, Muslim, anything like that, it's no, that's you won't get anywhere in life. And that just makes me question like, like these people who are part of them have been really great and everything like that too. Why why that's why get confused is like even though they believe that there's a higher up and that they're not perfect and that they're not all powerful and I still believe that too. I still feel like there's something bigger than me. So I'm not all this like self pride person or anything like that. But yeah, it's like well, if there's only one way in life, why has it been here? You know? I feel like if people see it and hear it, it'd be easier. But again, I don't as what George Collins say, like you worship you can worship anything, like the sun. And I've done that and I still get like, you know, same results. Just looking back about like everything that's happened in my life, a lot of it happened because it was mainly my fault about things, whether good or bad too, you know? And it's just put a lot of like integrity in myself. So yeah, I've done that, but yeah, it's also weird seeing that like I've seen on the news about how Christians have like I've seen them like I'm not saying not everyone's bad, but I've seen like people like commit crimes and doing all these bad things, like whether that's like murder or assault, just all those like things, and a lot of that's also tied to churches too. So just looking back, it's like, should I really trust others? And yeah. So the main thing was once I left, I it was a quiet leave, but it was not easy. It was very hard to leave because after hearing the same constant views over and over and over, and I was a leader of doing this stuff too, so I felt like I had to. My job was to bring people closer. So after doing all of this over and over, same talk, same speech, repeat the same exact thing next week. I just noticed that I felt more I felt more like at peace, and maybe it's because the devil got to me, but I don't know. Like I felt like, I still interact with people. I still help others and do all this stuff too. Like I know I'm not perfect and I don't know what to do in my life, but I feel like as long as I have this open mindset, then you can get anywhere you want. And I don't know, like I've talked to people who are atheists, and I felt like more in common with them, saying like, okay, well, no, maybe we don't know, but it's okay to still hang out and love each other. And yeah, it's I think overall is that I think in my opinion about I'm still I still if I get the chance to like get invited to church, I'll still go. I'll go to respect the culture and religion and what people think and see people gather. I think that all that's beautiful too. But so still love like the culture, but I still think like I don't know. It's it's just hard to think on your own after being told one way for a while. And then the fact that I thought earlier I was gonna do this forever, but I didn't. And then, yeah, just going off and on. And it's still weird because after seeing like how things are going today, and then people think like, will life get better or anything like that, and then like also believing about where will I go when I'm dead, like after that. It's like so much to think about. But I think I'm still, no, I still want to be friends with others and still, even if viewpoints change, still, you're a good person, help others, always be kind. I think that's the best way to go because yeah, I think that's the best way to go. I know if I know I'm still repeating, talking, making videos, kind of circling around. I'm still learning about how this platform works, but I think at the end of the day, as long as you're loving and learning and open and have your say, I think that's the best thing that can happen and to get around viewpoints. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Take care. Thank you and take care, guys.